Locast is calling it quits. So the big news all started Tuesday, August 31st, with Locast sending out an email that they wanted to comment on the court ruling, saying they got some disappointing news and that the judges ruled against them. We are disappointed that the court ruled against Locast on its copyright defense. The court interpreted the law in an artificially narrow way. Congress wrote copyright's nonprofit retransmission exception to make sure that every American has access to their local broadcast stations, and expanding access is exactly what Locast does. This ruling that nonprofit retransmitters can't use viewer contributions to expand access will do the opposite of what Congress intended. Over 3 million people use Locast to access local TV. So remember that number, 3 million people, including many who can't afford cable and can't pick up their local stations with an antenna. This ruling threatens their access to local news and vital information during a global pandemic and a season of unprecedented natural disasters. And it treats copyright law not as an engine of progress, but a moat protecting the privileged position of the 4 giant broadcasting networks. Then they go on to say they're disappointed in the ruling, obviously, because 3 million users at $5 each, you can do the math there. $15 million every month. Well, maybe say not everybody pays the $5. Some of them deal with a nag that comes up every 15 minutes. So even down to 2 million, even down to 1 million, that's a lot of money. So part of the problem with the ruling was also that they're saying the money needs to just keep things going, not to pay for expanding into new territories. So that was part of the problem. So that was Tuesday. That was big news, a big bomb that dropped on Tuesday. And then yesterday, Locast sends out another email saying we're stopping the interruptions for donation requests. That nag that you get every 15 minutes, they decided we're going to stop doing that. So that way it's more of a real donation. Okay, so you're not being like strong-armed into donating to be able to use our service. As you probably know, the federal district court in the Southern District of New York issued a ruling in the case brought against Locast by the big media companies. The court concluded that by interrupting programming to ask users for donations and by suspending those interruptions based on whether a user makes contributions, Locast actually was charging a fee, not merely seeking a voluntary contribution. The court then concluded that revenues Locast collects in this manner exceed the cost of operating the service because funds are used to add new markets, rendering Locast ineligible to use a copyright exemption for nonprofits. Although we disagree with this interruption and are exploring our legal options to contest it, out of respect for the court's order, Locast is suspending immediately all programming interruptions to request donations. So that was definitely going to cut into their donations because a lot of people, I imagine, were not going to want to pay the $5 and then they add on the fee of 50 cents. So $5.50 each month. So what happened in one day? Did a lot of people just cancel their donations all on that one day? We won't really know. Or did they have it in the back of the mind they were going to quit all along and just wanted to go one extra day because it was the end of the month and a lot of charges were going to be going through, a lot of people were going to be paying on that day? Who knows? And now we come to today's email, the big bomb that dropped today. Locast sends an email saying we are suspending operations, effective immediately. As a nonprofit, Locast was designed from the very beginning to operate in accordance with the strict letter of the law. But in response to the court's recent rulings, with which we respectfully disagree, we are hereby suspending operations effective immediately. Thank you. So if you try to get on Locast today, it's just not happening. If you open up your Locast app, it's not going to work. So what do you guys think of this big news? Leave down in the comments what you think about it. Were you a Locast subscriber? Were you thinking about subscribing? How did you feel about the $5 donation and that nag that came up? Were you happy to pay the $5? Leave your comments below, please. I'd really would love to know what you're thinking. And what are you going to do now for locals? Are you going to get an antenna? Are you going to try that again? Are you going to move on to a different service and just pay for locals? What will you do? I would love to hear from you. Well, that's the big news in cord cutting this week. This is Ray with the Cord Cutters community. I'd like to ask you to please give us a like, subscribe, and share this with a friend so they too can cut the cord and save a whole lot of money and get rid of those contracts. Okay? So once again, with the Cord Cutters community, this is Ray saying so long. We'll talk to you again real soon. Take care.